Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razek at CM Trading. Today's April 11th, 2019, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the major economic events of the day, just one event coming out of the United States at 2:30 South African time. It's a monthly PPI number, inflationary report number. So altogether, it is an important number. So if there are any surprises, you do want to know that it is coming out. Now, on the back of yesterday's FOMC, all the fears about an increase in interest rates have been subsided. It doesn't look like the Fed is going to do that again. So markets may react quite adversely to that today. Now, looking at the Forex symbols, Euro pretty much unchanged yesterday, okay? It did tank and then rally, but pretty much for the week, it's within its 12-ish level. British pound tanks yesterday after some Brexit delays, okay, as this referendum has been forever delayed. And as we've seen, the British pound has actually gotten weaker over the past, I would say over the past month or so, and changing a little bit of its character. South African rand, though, has gotten stronger versus the USD, breaking that 13, 14-ish level on the top side. And another point to really point out about the South African rand, as you see, the gold has gotten stronger. That's a really major element for the South African rand. And as the gold has gotten stronger, so has the South African rand. Now, looking at the indices, JSE pushes higher above its resistance level. We're going to take a look at that. We're watching it, and it finally came through. Dow Jones looked like it's going to break higher and bounce off for support at this 26,130-ish level that it's trading on right now. And you'll see in just a moment why I say it may push later higher. Commodities, looking at gold, we failed at 1312 to break out higher, which is a resistance level. I mentioned that yesterday. Oil looks like it wants to go higher, really just because it's keeping pushing ahead, and we're going to take a look at that. It's flirting with that 64.84-ish level. Now, looking at stocks, FANG stocks, the Facebook, the Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google, all are hovering near highs of the year, okay, which may push the markets higher later today. And if you remember, that's initially what pushed the markets higher over the past 2 years. 2018, 2017 was really the FANG stocks, okay? So looking at that right now, it's kind of reminiscent that they are making a comeback. They call this a second comeback. But let's see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're jumping into the Euro USD weekly chart, as you can see right there, and it's a beautiful retracement, okay? Now, we did kind of consolidate at this 112-ish level, 112.90-ish level, okay, but it's still relatively in a downwards momentum, okay? You could see that downwards trend still not breached on the higher side. So, ultimately it may, okay, if it does break above this 1350-ish level, we may see it just trade between these two areas of 12 and 1350. This is relatively a very tight range for the USD to actually be trading it, okay? Over the past, let's say, 3 months, it's been trading somewhere between 114-ish level and 112-ish level. That's a 200 pip relatively. That range is very tight for the Euro USD. Okay, so keep that in mind as we look at later today. And if it does break, it may break lower because of what's happening with the GBP. Now, the GBP, we're looking at a daily chart, okay, just to show you that it is getting weaker and it is forming somewhat of a downwards trend right there. And so, as long as it doesn't break above it, we could maybe see it trade lower. Okay, now the real area to break below it is 130. Okay, because every time we hit it, we look like we bounce right off of it. So that 130 is a very crucial area. Now it does look like it's setting up a wedge formation, okay? And with that said, any breach above this 131-ish level is quite important, okay? If it does breach this red line, that's very, very important for it maybe to make a comeback. I don't think it will, because Brexit just is Brexit, okay? It's not ending, and it's just causing so much havoc for the market in the UK. Now, jumping into the USD ZAR, and this is really important. I mentioned this last night in our webinar. 114 was a possible support level. We breached it, and we're trading at 1390. The next real support level is 1350, okay? So it does need to continue this downwards momentum, okay, to get there. However, if it doesn't get there, we do have a minor support at 1383. So just be aware of that we may just bounce off of this 1383-ish level, which is possibly another level for it to bounce off of right there, 1380-ish level right there. So just be aware of that. okay? Even though we've breached it, okay, with all said and done about the USDZR, it is quite choppy trading, and don't want to, you want to be in the momentum part of it and not in the choppiness kind of it, okay? Looking at gold, this is what I mentioned. We solidified. We hit 1312 yesterday, but broke below it, okay? Haven't really bounced above it, so we may see a correction if the Dow Jones and oil continues to trade higher. Now, this is what we're looking at right now is oil, and as you can see, it's trading around the 460-ish level, not breaking above it, okay, which is a resistance level. But if it does break above it, the next real resistance is 66. I mean, ultimately it could get to 74, but right now this is where it's challenged, and I'd like to see if it does break a higher to push the Dow Jones even higher as well. Now jumping into the indices, JSC, this is exactly what I was talking about, broke that 52,000 resistance right there. This is from yesterday's trading with a nice bar, okay, which means it's solidified, okay, which means that there's momentum there, which means that there is buying, okay. It looked like it was going to break the RSI yesterday. It didn't, okay, and broke out higher, which means that it may continue to break out higher. Now the next resistance level, 53,600-ish level, I'd look for the Dow Jones to see if it does continue to trade higher, okay, which is really very, very important, as that has also been corrected in the market as it's taken higher. Now looking at that Dow Jones, this is the Dow Jones. We're trading at 26,138-ish level. If we look at a 1-hour chart, you see that that support level has really been followed. Okay, now as long as we don't breach it, we could trade higher, but that has really to follow. Okay, so the fact that the Fed is not increasing interest rates may really be a catalyst to push out higher. Now, if we look at the stocks, Amazon, all-time highs, 1845. Looking at Apple, okay, and 199, all-time highs for the year, okay? So it really is looking like it wants to take it higher, but it's not going to give it to us so easily, and it's going to maybe fake us out before it does take us higher. Now looking at Facebook as well, 178-ish level, 177 right now, also all-time highs for the year. And so these things are really all trading in tandem with each other, and the Dow Jones is not. So we may see a catch up in the Dow Jones if these stocks go higher. Okay, really, really very, very important, and a really tremendous potential to make some good money today. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.